with a camera and a dream. Another white savior with the YouTube scheme. Found a sweet girl, half your age, so sweet. Now she's your content, our love's so cheap. You say it's real, but we all see the game. Poverty porn with the romantic frame. She's your backdrop, your exotic prize, while you count the clicks from your paradise. Oh, don't be that guy with the vlog and a lie, selling a story while you're living the high. You say it's true love, but the comments all know you're just another old man with a show. Don't be that guy. You built a channel off her yes and dear, but the second she speaks you cut her clear. She's so shy, folks know she's just aware that her life's your script. Do you even care? You say she's happy, but we see the strain. Another brown face in your cash grab frame. Her family's struggling, but your Patreon's high. Tell me, hero, who's really saving lives? Oh, don't be that guy with a vlog and a lie, selling a story while you're living the high. You say it's true love, but the comments all know you're just another old man with a show.
Oh,
What's that? Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. That's what I'm talking about. I was asking about adjusting the camera. Hope you guys are doing okay.
yeah. I hope you guys are doing okay. I mean, I understand that in the West, you guys are probably doing a work day. Today is a non-working holiday.
Okay. Today we are going to cover a ongoing situation of homeless expats, but this time we're going to do an exposing of all different sides of what's going on. There is another homeless expat that is German, and there seems to be a controversial over this guy that's living in the Manila area that's blaming his Filipina, and there are several vloggers that are covering him by going out and talking to him, talking to the girl, showing that the guy is homeless. And so there's a couple different things. George went through the videos of the other two vloggers, and that girl, Carrie, that has most of her channel is dealing with the homeless expats that she helps. They're saying the other Filipino vloggers are calling her a liar, that she didn't look into what's going on. She's showing him as basically looking innocent. We look further into the story, and there's all kinds of things going on with this guy. And the whole deal is going through Facebook and other things. This guy's already been offered help from everybody. People in Filipinos are helping him and giving him food. The city's helping him. And here along comes these vloggers that are using him as content, trying to expose or whatever. So it's him exposing the vloggers for money, and they're giving it to him. It's the city helping him, and it's all because of the way he treated his Filipina. He didn't plan his retirement. He goes in and out of Asia. So now he's just homeless asking for money. So this is going to be a story that we want to discuss. It's kind of a hot mess.
Yeah. Now, just real quick again. Now, again, I'm not trying to go against anybody's grain, but for those of you who have watched the other previous videos or the other vloggers, as it were, I mean, honestly, I don't know who they are, and I don't care. What I'm saying is, hear us out, aka me and Heidi, and the reason why I say that is because, one, from what I have seen, is the ones that matter the ones that matter count, and they're the ones that they will not and do not post things in English. And what I'm getting at is, these are the type of vloggers that you've never heard of or will ever hear of because you don't understand their language. And what I'm getting at is,
Well, yeah,
don't be quick to judge neither
Correct.
side.
Right. So Carrie Tasty Travels was the vlogger that we were supposed to have on. That's a day me and George had a fight. She's down in the room typing in cap locks, let me on, I'm waiting. And we told her to come 30 or 40 minutes after the fact. She had already pissed me off because she was in there waiting in caps, giving us a hard time. And we hadn't even introduced. So the whole time I'm talking to George, she's down there trying to get in the room. I get it. But she's the one that does mostly vlogs on these homeless expats. And people have been calling her out for a long time about her exposing for her income and how she takes in and makes videos and all these other things that she's doing. Two other channels, Omar Centino Vlog and Stephen Louis Ramos Checa. We have put the links. They're both the same interview. But two different guys went and interviewed the Filipina that he's talking about. Again, link is in there in the Facebook. It is in, you said Cebuano. And so the deal is they're exposing her, saying that she's putting out fake news, and then a bunch of other people came forward and stated that the guy has gotten help from the city, and there is somebody helping him. He's also refused to take enough to leave the country. So, and then I'm hearing in between stuff. So George watched the interview because it was in Cebuano. At some point when they mentioned they were in Angel City, she mentioned there was a business, but didn't say there was a business,
Okay.
right? I'm just, yeah, you can go into
just real quick. Again, not going deep into right now. Just real quick. Just apparently that when he arrived, he lived in Colossi for a while. Colossi is in a province in Antique. Antique is in the Visayas region, and he flew down there and he lived with his family. And then they moved. We'll get into this much more detail later. And then they moved over to Manila. You know, because that's the port. Angeles doesn't have a port. Angeles is landlocked, so the port would be Manila. So they moved over to Manila, and then German guy wants to open up a business, and she's like, well, she's again, I'm not.
Did they ever marry? Because this TikTok said
She
they were
never
married.
mentioned it. No.
But you did see the TikTok where it stated he was
I
married to
don't
her.
think they are because she never mentioned it.
So I'm wondering why he
but
mentioned it.
she against, that's a different story. We've heard of a lot of expats that claim that it's their wife and it's not, and they have a side swing.
That's
But what
right.
anyway? Point being is they went to Manila because again that's the port of entry when you come from Visayas, and then they moved in, and then apparently this German guy who's on the screen right now, he had an itch. Let's start a business, and she says, "Oh no, if you want a business, open up in Angel City," and they went to Angel City. So that's just real quick, just a real quick rundown of what happened as far as locations are concerned. The reason I brought this up because at least somebody steered him right. Because if you open up a business in Manila, guys or girls, again expats, be aware if you open a business, you have a lesser probability of success in Manila because it's oversaturated.
Yeah. The gentleman's name is clearly out there. He is a vlogger, he's a YouTuber, he's on TikTok, and his name is Daniel Dang Jang. Okay, Dang Jang Dang Jang Dang.
We didn't make that up.
No, we really didn't. His
thing.
woman's name is Rose. All of this is out on the internet. Now, initially when we seen this story, it was like, oh, poor guy, as he's putting on a face to everybody that his Filipina is a gold digger. You see all these comments. Tasty herself has it out there that he's totally been out there. And here she's actually going on, which is Carrie, going on about poor guy. How could his Filipina basically, jilt him like that? And she painted it in such a good light because, again, this is the woman's income. This is how the woman is making money, and she's been called out by her own people, okay? And others have come forward to say, hey, what's going on. But the guy sits outside in the Makati area. And here's an article here where somebody is, this is one of the guys where we just watched his video that talked to the Filipina to see the other side. And basically, to those who ask why the German guy went back to the public market, which is in Makati, to beg, it is his job. Based on the interview with his girlfriend recently, when in Manila, he does the same thing, begging. Okay, I want to let you guys know there are professional beggars here in Angel City that after they get their money, they go to the bar, they go out to eat, and then they go into a hotel at night. But they sit out here all day, just like they would in the US. And there are professional guys that come here, no income, no residual income, which is part of why we cover this. We're just not covering it because it's all gossip. It's also something to learn. Don't come here with no income. Don't come here and spend up your money running around with the Filipino. Because honestly, this is somewhat bucking the system. I'm not believing she's all innocent. She might have been innocent where he was blaming, and I believe her part about the abuse. But I also believe it takes two to tango. We don't have the full story. According to this vlogger, he will be giving the German a chance to talk. Well, I mean, he's been representing himself out there already, but he doesn't want to go home. We hope we can help him. So this is why initially I was saying it's a battle of the vloggers, because there are several Filipino channels that go out after they see these homeless guys. They do try to help. I give them that, all channels. But on the other hand, they're totally putting all their information out. They're making money on the whole situation. And now they're all talking bad about each other. The other ones are like, "Oh, Carrie, you're lying," and why this? So it's drama. It's social media.
It's great if it was in the interest of the person that is in need.
But here's the thing about him being in need. He's also already been helped by the city. And there are other people walking down the street that you don't see. So he's getting money from all sides. He's probably getting some negative press that he doesn't want to.
Later.
Yeah, it's crazy. So this is one of the crazier stories that we've seen. But people have been trying to expose this Carrie girl for a while, because you'll see before she went to the homeless expats, her views were at like 200. And then she ended up on the Rafi Tulfo show with the empanada guy. And after that, she just did nothing but the homeless people and how she's helping. And I get it. I get it. But it's now other vloggers are calling her out also. It also said the German guy's decision is that he doesn't want to cooperate. There's nothing that we can do but don't let him go. It says, I don't know what the DNA thing is. This is translated from Tagalog. I know, I don't know what the DNA, but let's see what he wants. So in the end, he's already getting help, and he's refusing to leave the country. And so that's the other crazy part. That is for sure. But they're going to do an interview on him. So there they are. And also, these are other messages coming through that it's that he is got mental issues, that he was diagnosed with bipolar, and it sounds like he's manic according to the comments and statements coming in from her, that there's been severe abuse and mood swings. So not only is he broke and doesn't have any income coming in, he's also got mental issues that we've talked about, where he's getting no medication. It says they broke up because of the problems, and it was abuse. And it says Daniel had a lot of debt, but the girl came back because she found out that he was sick and no one was taking care of him. So as usual, the Filipinas will come through and still take care no matter what. So these are, again, other statements that are coming in from the other channel. And it's just repeating what I translated earlier. All right. So this is what nobody is talking about from all of them, but I will.
Okay.
Go on, Ben.
Hold up. Before we go further, because Heidi's going 10,000 miles per second.
Yeah, because I'm gonna get to the comments.
Yeah. First off, again, like Heidi says, a lot of people. First off, now if there's several, that's the title again. We're talking about other vloggers. There's several, not just vloggers. We're not just talking about vloggers. We're talking about other people too.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about one person helping out. We're not talking about two people helping out. We're not talking about three people helping out. I personally, again, from what I've seen, I'm aware of three people without counting of trying to help this guy out. Point being is, and these are all Filipinos. What I'm saying is, there are several people trying to help this guy out. And what I'm saying is, if several people are trying to help you out and nothing's getting resolved, guess what the common denominator is? And that's what I'm getting
And
at.
he's refused. Yeah, I know. I can tell you right now he's the problem. Just by the comments, statements, and his social media accounts. So again, he's a vlogger. Surprise, surprise. Here he is and has been asking for money from people based on the children of the Philippines. I can almost hear that song. I believe the children are future in the eyes of an angel. So please, my friends, give a small donation, right? So I was going through his TikTok, and he also. So here is the exposure. So you got him exposing Filipino children, which is not a good thing, and then he's abusing his woman here, not a good thing. And you got the Filipino vloggers now exposing the German guy. It's just a lot going on here. But he does ask for money for the kids. I'm sure he has no DSWD permits.
well,
I'm sure he's not
I'm
properly
sure
anything.
you have the other stuff.
Yeah, 1 second.
And this is very pertinent, and it is. Okay, that's it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now this, we did not make this up. This is a screenshot from him. Every second euro donated. Euro, okay? Euro is bigger than the dollar, guys. Okay.
And by the way, that is his page.
Right.
So these are his social media pages. It's not an organization.
Right. So euro is bigger than the dollar. So what I'm saying is, for every second euro donated goes to this aid organization,
which is him.
Now, here's the issue I have with this. There's two issues I have. One, that means he's taking half off whatever is donated. Okay, so he's taking 50% of the cut. Second issue is, if you look further down, it says PayPal, David Danjang. Again, we did not make this up.
Daniel.
This is his. Oh yeah, Daniel. Sorry, we did not make this up. That's a direct line to his PayPal.
Over children.
Not anybody else's, not an organization. It goes straight to him. So those are two issues. Again, one,
the guy is scamming. The guy is scamming the whole system. He's getting the vloggers to give him money. You got simping vloggers, or let's find another word besides simping vloggers, sympathetic vloggers that are giving him money.
Let's even say
that they're collecting from everybody else.
That's what I'm saying. In a best case scenario, and I say best case, is for every money that you send him, he'll donate half. And that's best case scenario. That is if Mother Teresa has never performed a sin. You know, that kind of deal. So what I'm saying is,
I mean, look at this. He's showing children sleeping on the street to take money.
What I'm saying is, again, I'm not judging him, but I'm not.
So okay.
Again, I'm not judging him, but it's up to you guys to judge whether or not, if you guys send him €2, if he will send that €1.
Okay, how do you feel that a German guy that's abusing
personally,
and you see him doing this?
Well, see, that's the thing. Now you're asking my personal opinion, which is completely different when I'm asking the people.
Yeah.
I ask the people, if they send €2, do you guys honestly think he will send €1 to this organization? I personally don't think so.
There is no organization. That is his Facebook page. There is no organization.
No. The organization is real.
What organization? The one on the screen is his page.
I know that, and that's what I'm clarifying. Is the organization real? I even said that before the live. The organization is real. However, he's taking half the cut from the get-go. You can bring it back. I mean, I'm not making things up.
You talking about the code, the KOEFI?
That's real. That's a real organization.
Okay.
The problem is, again, I don't have a problem. Heidi, that's a real organization. It's the fact that he said.
Yeah, he put his own. Yeah, he put his own.
Just rewind it. It's his own words. He says, "I will donate every second," which is another word for "I'll take half of it."
Yeah.
That organization is real. The organization on your screen right now is real. The problem I have
Is
every
his
second
personal
you
PayPal.
roll means he's gonna take half of the cut. The second issue I have is it says it goes straight to him, not an
Yeah,
organization.
because it's his PayPal.
I'm pretty sure he's not DSWD approved. He's not, or any country approved that he's allowed to take this donation.
Yeah, the whole point is it's
right, and that's what I'm getting at. Is again, he's not authorized to take donations, and that's why I said, guys, do you really think he's gonna donate half of whatever goes in his PayPal? I don't think so. And again,
yeah, there's his second page.
I
where
don't
he's
know
still
the guy.
collecting money.
I don't know the guy. I don't. But the
And there's
reason
the
why I say
interview.
that is if it says at my name and then Kofi, you know what I'm saying? Then I would probably be more lenient. I would lean more towards to, okay, he probably will donate half. But if it's his own personal PayPal, which is obviously what we showed you on screen, is his own personal PayPal, in all probability, he's not gonna donate it. And again, I'm not being judgmental here. Here's the reality: if you have a PayPal account, all kind of shit comes in there. Every kind of money transfers, whatever, goes into that account. So you're gonna do an inventory of every single day?
Well, I think if he had that kind of money, he wouldn't be on the street.
Well,
but
that's
I think
my
he's
point.
doing
That's
it.
my point. And that's what I'm getting at. Again, the problem I have is, again, for those logical brain people, they'll be like, you're right. If this was
It's two different things. No, it's two different
right,
things. You don't
if
have
it
to
was
go
meant,
into that.
well, I don't have
Everybody
to.
understands.
But what I'm saying is, again, if this was meant for a donation, he can take it, but it would be a dedicated PayPal account.
He's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit for putting the kids. You may not say it, but I will. Just like I said earlier today, you may not say it, but I will. The guy has got the vloggers handing him money now. He's got the city handing him money. He's got a hat out collecting money. He has accounts where he's I just checked. I didn't know till now that Kofi is, but it's only got 57 people. But the whole point is here's another woman calling him out. Fake news. Go make more content that you don't know anything about. Talking to Carrie, the original girl that's like, oh, poor German guy. His woman scammed him again, just like Empanada Tatai. Well, that was her bread and butter. Still is her bread and butter is the homeless people. And it says here that, did you even fact check? Did you do anything? It only took us 2 seconds to pull up his TikTok account to see that he's putting poor little children on, asking for money on behalf of Kofi. Kofi's only got 57 people on their page, so they're not a big organization, but he still used an organization.
No. They're a big organization.
Here's the exact page, George. Right here. 57 followers. So Kofi, this is the exact page. You
okay. Well then.
So basically, it's dealing in opportunities for Filipinos or something, but I don't understand why.
Well, either way, it's obviously not him.
Right, but he's using his personal PayPal. But people are calling her out. I'm calling out all of them because it's all kind of going around. And then this ass is on the street getting money from all sides and refusing to leave the country, but yet they won't deport him. Well, they won't put him in a jail. And he's mentally ill, according to other sources.
Well, let's finish this video.
Well,
further.
yeah. So I don't think there's just a few more clips on there. There's his other page that he has. Basically, it's hookups, and that's just showing his TikTok page, which pretty much besides asking for the money, he basically shows a bunch of Filipinas, which is hookup site in my opinion, but there's not a whole lot going on. And there's the original article that is in the thumbnail that is basically saying that the guy, this came from Carrie, a German, just like Tatay Empanada official, got fooled by another Filipino. This is Carrie, the Filipina that does the homeless expats for a living. Why are the AFAMs chronically stranded here in the Philippines? And she's always so freaking dramatic about it. Like, like when she does the videos and the music, and Filipinos have called her ass out on it. What is happening to my fellow Filipinos? Whatever that means. So this German national is found in Antique begging at the public market. It looks like he still has a wound on his leg. Oh my God, what a pity the foreigner had brought on him. And basically it's stating that his woman did him wrong. And then other bloggers like, hey, here's an opportunity. Let's interview her. And they do.
Okay. So
And
let's take that down.
are we working on it?
No. Okay. No. Okay. Now, Carrie, if you're here or if you're watching this, just so you know, be aware that again, I'm not going against you or anything like that, but be aware that not every foreigner is honest. In fact, I'm going to be honest with you. I've met a lot more dishonest foreigners than I've met Filipinos. But anyway, what I'm saying is be careful of who you believe. And now, just real quick, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what happened behind the scenes, okay? Now, first off, Rose, okay. Rose is the Filipino partner of German dude has, okay? Before they arrived here, they had a 1 year LDR relationship, okay? And then he arrived here in September 2023. So it's not that long ago. So the best way to describe it is there's no major speed bumps in the relationship up until 9 months. Okay. However, now again, remember this is somewhat
Yeah, you're did you tell them this is from the interviews?
yeah,
The
yeah,
Filipino,
but
okay.
okay, now yeah, this is from their interview from her. Now I have a high propensity to believe this girl. I didn't want to jump into that, but since Heidi brought it up, this is an interview of Rose. Now, I believe her. You know why? After everything's happened, she does not say one bad thing about this German guy. Not a single thing. Not even her family says one single bad thing. And keep that in mind. Let's put a pin on that, okay? And this is why I believe her. Okay. Now, when he first arrived, I mean, I don't know the port of entry. She didn't mention where the port of entry is, but it's probably Cebu. Um, and then they went to Colasi. Now, Colasi is an island in Antique, on the left hand side of Cebu. It's in the Visayas region, for those of you who are wondering. And she spoke Cebuano. There was another older dialect, which I don't think she probably did. She's younger. But anyway, they lived in Colasi, which is again in Antique. Antique is more known. That's why I keep stop that. Again, Antique is more known because it's like a kind of like when they say Luzon, when they say Manila, that's what it is. And that island, Antique, is the city that everybody talks about. So she took him over to Colossae, over to the family home. Okay. And then he lived in the family home for a while, but reading between the lines. Again, she never said anything bad or anything. Reading between the lines, there seemed basically he didn't adjust well, if that makes any sense. That's the best
He's a
way.
nutball.
Well,
He
yeah.
ain't going to fit in if a Filipino family is meek and offering him things all the time and nothing is good
Well,
enough.
you have to
And he's a
remember.
moody bitch all the time.
You have to remember too that culture is different.
Yeah, you will fight with that. And we said if you've got severe mental issues and high anxiety, which bipolar is, then he is off the chain. He's not going to fit in whatsoever.
Because, for example, even this
Yes.
morning, I was talking about, okay, which car is it? Is it this car? Did it go over our line? That kind of deal. And I even told Heidi, well, if this. Point being is, in the U.S., the moment somebody parks in front of your yard, a lot of Americans flip. Here, guess what? It's normal. So that's what I'm saying. Culturally,
Yeah.
you may have issues. So, yeah. So, anyway. So, yeah, they didn't get along. And long story short, the family kind of says, you, again, no bad words were said. No, nothing against anybody. You guys should probably get a place of your own, is basically what was said.
Yeah.
And then they moved to Manila. I don't know what made them think to go to Manila. I think it's his decision because he wants to open up a business.
Yeah, I seen him in a truck. I have no idea what the
Right.
business is.
So he wants to open up a business. So they moved over to Manila. They didn't last there long. Because she told him, like, if you want to open up a business, go to Angel City. Now, I told Heidi
or
this.
make her the business. Who knows?
This is actually a valid point, and this also tells me a character of the Filipino, because if you're in Manila and you guys are, what I'm saying is, if her family's not in Manila, there's no reason to be in Manila. The reason being is Manila is oversaturated with. Doesn't matter what it is, it's oversaturated. So what I'm saying is, she's kind of steered him, like, don't open up a business here. Go to Angels, you have a better chance. That's basically what she said.
And honestly, it's not much more of a chance.
Oh,
better than Manila if you're going to compare
yes.
it, but you still wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
you wouldn't want to do any business.
Well, you have to remember, as far as metropolitan areas goes, you're not going to open up a business in the province either. That's a bad idea.
Well, here's the thing. By then, I'm sure he had already become abusive, and the crazy leaked out of his hat all over the place.
Actually,
so I wouldn't have started a business, but I guess she figured she was getting him anywhere but off of her.
Okay, no. Don't jump to that. Okay, now they arrived in Angel City on July 5th. Okay, now the problem is, according to her exact words, his behavior started changing once they arrived in Angel City. Now, I don't. Okay.
He just held that shit in, that's all.
Actually, thank you. Now, my theory, okay, is this. This is not part of the interview. This is not part of anything on the internet. My theory is this guy had enough medication to last him 6 months. And then, after 6 months, it started to wear off. And the reason why I'm saying this is because they arrived in Angel City at 9 months. So what I'm saying is, at 3 months, his body is dry as far as medication is concerned. And what I'm getting at is, her exact words is, the moment we got to Angel City, he changed. He is not the man I used to know. I call him this. Okay, not to clarify, I know the guy's name, but out of disrespect, I guess the word you would say is, I don't mention his name. I could just call him the German dude.
We call him Dang Jang. Is this Dang Jang?
Because it's, to me, it's crystal clear what's going on here, and because it goes on.
Now he's just working the system.
Because it doesn't end at the Filipino. Now, first off, This Filipino, again, remember, at this point, still hasn't said anything bad. So his behavior changed. Okay, she took him to the hospital and stuff like that. And while in the hospital, this German dude lost his shit. He started, losing his shit, like, going yelling and screaming in the hospital, making a scene, whatever. Okay, so that's something she has to deal with. And then at she had to start hiding. Okay, Carrie, if you're listening, these are probably things your German dude never told you, and this is what the Filipino is saying. And I believe her again for a lot of reasons, and not because I'm Filipino. Trust me, I'll go against myself even because it's just the way I am. But anyway, she started saying I actually had to start hiding knives from him because, okay, I had to start hiding knives from him because he starts having objects around him.
What'd I say? Sounds like
Okay.
our house on a bad day.
No, it's like
a
a
joke,
Tuesday.
Yes,
Okay.
that's Tuesday on the
Now,
Tuesday.
so what I'm saying is,
Wow, yeah.
I don't know what you guys have experienced in your lives, but anybody who punches objects around the house is not usually the person you want to be around.
The guy's character's going right
keyword-
down the
keyword,
drain. He's
punching.
circling the swamp, guys. Comment on what's going on,
Right.
because I'm going to interject here. So now the guy's character's going straight down the drain. He's refusing to leave the streets. He's collecting money from Filipinos on the street. He's collecting them from multi-vloggers that are trying to help him. And he's got a Filipina that's stating that he's got all these mental issues, and other statements on the internet are coming through about the guy being mentally unstable. And he then has that he's a vlogger, and he's got a YouTube channel. He's got a social media
Vlogger.
account. Yeah, we use that loosely because everybody's a vlogger now. And on top of that, he's showing depraved Filipino children using other companies to collect money and doing at his PayPal where he's collecting the money
Yeah, so
personally.
he's obviously taking the money.
Right. And here's the thing. This guy ain't stupid. He's planning this all out. Like I said, we know there are other expats here that are just working the streets. So they're working the vloggers, they're working the system. He's going through and he's doing all this, and in the meanwhile, he's just wreaking havoc. But I don't know why they haven't snatched him up.
Yeah. Okay. Now again, be aware. Even in the U.S., if you're with somebody who does this, you need to move out. The reason being is, again, guys, I don't have to be a psychologist, but you guys can research it and you can talk to a psychologist if you want to. You're more than welcome to. Again, I've had basic training, but what I'm saying is a person who punches inanimate objects because they're upset, or a person who does stabby inanimate objects when they're upset, when he's at that fine line that stops between an inanimate object and a person, and that person could be you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm getting at. Now, again, let me move on. At this point in time in Angeles City, that he lost his shit.
I lost my shit.
That he started choking her. Okay. And the thing is I mean, that's why I believe this girl, because she's really nice. She says, he choked me and yada yada yada. But she still didn't say shit about this guy. She still didn't call him piece of shit. She didn't say, oh, he's an asshole. Oh, he's a bad person. Nope. He says, well, he choked me, and I understand he's going through a lot.
Well, that's part Filipino, but I also think it's part of being a woman that's being abused, that's in love, and they just stuff everything.
Well,
it's
point
not
being
original
is
to
she
women
didn't
that
go
are being
against
abused,
him
or
in-
men. I will say men do get abused.
Well, my point is
so-
she didn't go against him in any way, manner, or fashion.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, she just didn't. And then now he kicked her out. He literally is the one who kicked her out. The straw that broke the camel's back, as far as I've of him kicking out. It seems so stupid, but I feel like I should talk about this because a lot of you, it's hard for a Westerner to grasp this. The reason why he kicked her out because he wants his comforter washed, and she says, "No, that's something you need to send to a laundromat."
And he lost his shit over
And
it.
he lost his shit and he threw her out.
Wow.
First off, be aware. No, even in the Philippines, especially in the Philippines, you do not have your partner wash your fucking comforter. Okay, you take it to a laundromat.
Yeah.
And in fact, if you go to a laundromat, if you look around and pay attention, most of them are comforters.
Yeah, we've talked about that after we got our washer a few years ago here, because we used to send our laundry out all the time because it's fairly inexpensive. We started doing it at home. Then we were always talking about we send our laundry and it was our blankets. It's the oversized ones.
Yeah, and that's blankets,
that is
not
cheaper.
comforter.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, we have thin
Yeah.
blankets
No, these are
because
blankets,
we keep
yeah.
AC on at night.
And blankets
or
are hard
George
enough.
freezes. Right. So he lost his shit over that.
Well, now
I'd be interested. There'll probably be a part 2 to this because the other guy is going to interview the German. I'd be really curious on, I'm a good guy. I mean, I don't know. Most of the guy is YouTubing, and his other social media is him karaokeing. And, did you see the photo where he's dressed up like David Carradine in all white? His shoes were white and everything else. He looked like, I'll have to show George. The links are in the
yeah. So
description.
anyway, he kicked her out. Okay, and she at that point she didn't know what to do. Obviously, she figured out what to do because obviously she's not in that bind anymore. But point being is she kicked her out, and she's not in her territory, so she does not know anybody. She does not have family. Well, although she probably did call her family to bail her out of the situation, so to speak. The she probably had to figure it out. She probably had to talk to some stranger and ask for help. Now, here's the issue. The interviewer says, "Well, who'd you call?" She says, "Nobody. I couldn't call anybody." And then the interviewer said, "Why not?" Because he grabbed my phone and threw it in the water.
Classic move.
I hate to say this.
Classic psychopath move.
Normally, normally, this is a move done by jilted women. When, for example, a woman that I'm dating found out I'm dating somebody else, is, when you're dating, you're not tied down to anybody. They grab my phone and then throw it out the window in the interstate, And not that ever happened to me or anything like that. But anyway, happen a lot. But anyway, point being is, what I'm getting at is,
I'm more apt to cut up
for
your
a guy
seats
to do that,
and your motorcycle
that
and
is-
dismember it and take all the bolts apart and stab at
Oh.
your tires and everything. That's what I mean. Anyways.
yeah, alleged. All right. So point being is, normally a phone being thrown in water is, first off, it is a dick move. Second off, it's normally a jilted woman who does this. Okay, but I can see somebody who has issues doing this as well.
This is true. Robert says that George is being diplomatic, as he always is, and never indefinite. So I'm like, what a bullshit
Well,
psychopath.
At this point, I'm not even talking diplomacy. I'm talking about in a scientific method. Just
yeah,
to be,
you're breaking it
right,
down, which
'cause I
is
didn't-
good.
I didn't-
That's
I
what
don't
this
wanna
channel's
go
about.
again.
Psychopath.
yeah.
Psychopath and the other vloggers, because George wasn't. You're going to be offended at this part. I still feel
Right.
that the vloggers are fighting over them, and it's like they're doing this with a bunch of expats for content. So everybody's doing Jollibee, everybody's doing local places. Filipinos are exposing their own Filipinos and doing. It's not original that the expats are doing it, but also the Filipinos here are doing the same type of vlogging. But now you got these guys on the street, these expats that are exposing the whole thing. I mean, this guy's working the system all the way around,
Right.
and he's a nutcase.
So now again, there's obviously other vloggers out there, as Heidi said, And they're spreading these rumors that he got taken advantage of a Filipina, yada yada yada.
Mm.
Now she says that no, I never took his money. I never had control of his money, which I kind of believe. Most bipolar people aren't like that.
Most expats aren't giving up their bank accounts,
Correct.
even if they're married.
And
They're either putting them on a salary, or a lot of them are making sure their Filipinos are working. Okay, go get you a job. Your money is your money to give your family, which is kind of smart in some sense if there's a big family. But yeah, I get
right.
it, yeah.
And again, even she said that his phone is his phone. I don't touch his phone. Whatever he has on there.
See, fix it.
You know, basically, and I believe her because the reason being is I'm exactly the same way. I have
Sarah.
exes that are they can leave their phone in front of me and they know I will not go through it. You know what I'm saying?
I used to, but now I just, it's like,
So now let's go into a little bit more, a little bit of the stuff that's somewhat pertaining to now. Now, in the now situation, before this, before you guys ever heard of this guy, she did take him to the doctors. She did take him to the hospitals, and yes, he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. So it is a fact that he was diagnosed. Second, he did. She did take him to the embassy. Okay.
German
And
embassy.
yeah, the German embassy, and they did say, if we are able to ship him out back to Germany, be aware you're not able to accompany him, which is she's fine with it. Now, the issue is when I believe it's during the interview is when he was asked if he wants to leave the Philippines, allegedly, because remember this is a fourth person at best, because um it's odd. This is an interview, which means it has to come from him, and from him it has to go to somebody else, and then us. So this fourth person.
Yeah.
And what I'm getting at is, according to allegedly, he said no.
Hey,
Hey,
Brian.
Brian, how you doing?
Hey, Brian.
Allegedly, again.
And Sarah's right on that. She could have like that Stockholm syndrome
No, the
situation.
Filipino can have Stockholm.
Filipinos,
Yes.
as much shit as I talk, in general, Filipinos have a passiveness, a quietness, a shyness, all wrapped in one. I just, there's like a mixture that I found in the Asian culture, but Filipinos especially. So, yeah, she probably could have all this going on, and she just, it's just like, there you are. She's so used to it.
Right. Let me repeat again, only because this is actually a pivotal statement.
Yeah, sorry.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have go back on this statement. Again, this is going to be a fourth person, because again, this allegedly came from him, and I believe this statement because, again, during the interview, he was asked if he wanted to leave the Philippines, and the answer is no, I do not want to leave the Philippines. And the reason why this is pivotal is, guess what? At that point, the embassy washes its hands. There's nothing they can do. They cannot ship them out.
And on the other hand, Bings, you're saying that, and we're on the legal side of it. A lot of people are like, well, why aren't the police grabbing them? Why isn't immigration going down and grabbing them? Because they're everywhere. I'm sorry. We're not talking about one guy that you don't notice. If there's some white guy, German, American, black, whoever, as an expat, they know it, and they stick out like a sore thumb. And the whole point is they're not going to go that far to go down and get him. I guess it's probably about as much in the U.S. if there's just a random, God, you can't even say probably. How would I say this in the U.S. considering there's a lot of Hispanic mixed people or Americans that are already Hispanic. So I guess it'd be hard to determine in America where there's a homeless person that's a foreigner, but here it's really evidently going to show usually when they're a foreigner just sleeping on a box like the woman was. So my whole point is they know about him. I know there are people reporting it. There is a government person that already knows about him down there, and they're supposedly helping him. So my whole deal is they're not, and a lot of them aren't even. The cops and the NBI and the immigration people. They're not being paid enough to go down there, and he's just going to be there forever. That is the truth. Diplomatically, they're not going to do anything on the what do you call that? The immigration side or whatever. So he'll
Right.
probably just sit there forever. So I just wanted to, because a lot of
Now,
people are probably curious on that part.
one more thing again, just real quick again. The last thing we heard about is he was begging in the market, and then now here's the thing. A vlogger, okay. Again, Heidi will go deep in this more than I will as far as the vloggers are concerned. A vlogger walked up to him. He saw he was like begging in front of the market, and he says, "All right, come with me. I'll set you an appointment to the church, and then they'll help you out." And he did. He set an appointment. He brought him over to church, and says, "Okay, just wait right here. The church will be right with you, and then they'll take care of you." And then he drove off, and literally within the hour, they called him up like, "Hey, there's this beggar in front of the market. You might want to check him out." It's a random guy called. Well, it's probably one of his friends. And then he went over to the market, and guess who's over there? It
He
was
was right
him.
back. Yeah.
Point being
He's working the
is
system.
correct.
And I don't think, I was telling George this earlier, the guy, a lot of crazy people are super smart. I'm sorry, they're practically geniuses when it comes to manipulation and getting what they want and all these other things. It's like a weird type of crazy smart. And this guy is working the system. This guy, and we said that before, that a lot of guys that are coming over here are with a lot of mental issues, whether it's from the military, whether it's from they brought it with them, they got some form. I think everybody has a form of mental issues. I mean, to get into it personally, I think there's a slight anxiety. There is, bipolar people. There are people that are depressed. It may be short term, but everybody at one point or another has had issues. It doesn't mean you can't come to the Philippines. It just means that these guys that are on medication, that are having issues, that can't hold themselves together, sure the hell isn't going to survive in a third world country or in a country where there's so many issues. Even if it was just culturally, it's going to mess you up. So if you don't have a good support system, and they didn't start on their own, like in other words, he didn't have enough money to come get his own place where he was stable in his own place. He was living with family. You see what I mean? And it was a bad foot to start with. And it doesn't seem like the guy had a money or job or anything else. So it was just really bad all the way around. So,
Hey, Gio, how you doing, man? Yeah. No. So yeah. No. Again, it's what I'm getting at is even if you don't know the guy or even if you don't know the girl, what I'm getting at is first off, like we already established, that the fact that this guy is actually um accepting donations for this said, organization, and then he clearly stated that he's going to give half of it, and
yeah, on
that,
top of that.
well, what I'm saying is it's an establishment of character that it's somebody you already can't trust. So what I'm saying is, would you believe him when he says, "Well, he this, she that, he this, she that,
Yeah.
So,
I'd be interested in his up and coming interview because, I mean, what can he say when it's already out there? It's not like one of those where, geez, there's more than one side to the story and it's not
and
possible.
I guarantee you.
He's going to blame her the whole time.
Well, no,
And that would definitely show his
let's forget that.
bipolarness.
I guarantee you, these words came out of his mouth. Okay. The reason why I'm saying this because those vloggers that are helping him or have helped him probably have heard these words. Nobody's ever tried to help me. You're the first one or the only one.
Well, I said you talking about the manipulation factor.
Right, and that's my
Mhm.
point. Is in all probability, he said those exact words to all of them.
Yeah, let us know how you guys feel about these expats that are coming here, and a lot of them are abusive. And you're not going to hear a bunch of channels that'll cover the backside of Filipinos and the expat side, and you'll hear them say, and I'm going to bring up a high case where you didn't hear the other side. Old Dog New Trick got millions and millions of views for the homeless expat John. One video got 1 million views almost. And all you kept hearing is, oh, look how sick he is. Old Dog would go on about him being sick and him not doing well and how he needs a place. And he went through that. Basically, his Filipina had blah, 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 had the kids. And it turned out there was a bunch of other issues in the relationship. There was some drinking. There was, according to her, when she was talking to us, some alleged abuse and the kids. And no, he didn't build a house. He had only built a room onto the house, and there was all kinds of things going on. What you're not hearing is both sides when these guys become homeless or the other things that are actually going on. And this guy's got a ton of stuff going on. So I mean, when I hear these, I'm well aware that I could become homeless tomorrow. I mean, me and George could lose our shirts totally. Something medical happened to one of us, all of our money's gone, and then something could happen. I get that part of it, and we could be homeless, but we're not going to be like working the system. I mean, we're not doing like some of the bad behavior that you guys are seeing from the other vloggers, aka like this guy's doing. He's actually asking for funds, exposing and showing kids on his TikTok, and on the street, getting everybody to actually help him, but yet he's throwing the Filipina under the bus the whole time until she came forward. So, and then you got Carrie, to reiterate from the beginning, that has been exposing homeless expats. And it's one video and one statement all the time and photos of these same guys that she's helping. But she's being called out too by the way she's actually doing it. So it just kind of, now I must say it happens in all the countries, guys. This is going on somewhat in America where you got the vloggers out talking to the homeless and then they're making content and everybody's making content. It's just a lot more evident here, and America is not yet a third world country. But it's, here it's kind of crazy. Things are already tough as it is for this Filipina, and then this goes and happens. So, let's see, kind of going through.
Sarah, interesting there. There's a new term for schizo or bipoles. It's borderline personality disorder.
Well, that's not new. Borderline personality disorder, probably 20 years they've talked about that. It's just something that they add on to the diagnosis of. But no, it's a combination. Yeah, schizophrenic and bipolar. Borderline personality disorders can be diagnosed by itself. But yeah, it's been
Mark
around.
says, how is he paying for his visa renewals?
Probably not, I imagine, if he's
Probably
broke.
not.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I still think he's married.
Most of these expats are not paying for their visas.
Yeah, so the Filipina has been putting up with the nut for a while. She would go to the immigration and report this guy. I doubt it. She's just going to. I think she still cares. Mental disorders are still medical disorders, and if medication controls it and it helps it, but it doesn't go away. And how would I put this without people thinking it's not an excuse for the people, but they are broken upstairs, just like guys that come back from the war that have PTSD and their minds are broken, and people are like, well, why can't you just act normal, or why can't you? It'll never happen. Never, never. And it's like not having control of yourself. It's like an out of body experience. So the guy needs his medication and he needs to be in an environment to control what's going on. And the anxiety of being in the Philippines will flip people out. And so he's in an area as a mentally unstable guy that is not good. being in the Philippines with a mental disorder is extremely bad. It's I seen a vlogger about 3 years ago. She's a female and she couldn't get any of her anxiety meds. Her whole channel fell apart. Actually, two of them. There's a big one that was in Manila. It was that older woman with kids. She took 7, 8 months off because of her mental disorders. She came back and told everybody she had a mental disorder. Same with this young blonde girl, had to be about 24 years old, like totally like her disorder was anxiety. Oh, I couldn't function and I couldn't this and she was at the point of being it was just bad. And because she couldn't get her medicine and stuff. So you add in the anxieties where noise bothers people or other people and they can't be around crowds. The Filipino is nothing but crowds here, man. Nothing but crowds and bad traffic and things falling apart and just where it is. It's not a place for mental disorders. So so the guy is just going to be in bad shape and being on the street is not helping either. He was probably going through his manic highs and lows. Like he was probably all excited about being in the country initially. And that's what I mean. The honeymoon phase was over. Like you said, he might have ran out of medication. But if he's in a manic swing where he's up and constantly going, he's just gonna ride on that and be happy, and she probably liked that he was probably dancing in a good mood all the time and all of his he was putting on this persona that his bipolar was creating. And that came all crashing down when he got into the manic mood of depression and anger. And so it just fell apart.
Well,
He was going through some sort of manic situation
yeah,
too.
when Heidi keeps mentioning manic is when they lose control and start going stabby or punchy. Just so you guys
Well,
know.
mania can go in an upward swing where they party for days and go to the movies and they're out and about. And then the mania can hit where they're in the house locked down all the time and they don't want to go out and they're in a bad mood and they're stabbing and beating things up. Or it can go further highs and lows.
Well,
That's what bipolar, but the mania just makes it 10 times
worse. Yeah.
right? And so and he could have other issues that go along with that.
Well, that's another thing. I mean, I get it that he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, but we don't know if there's anything else. AKA, we don't know if it. What I'm saying is, if you don't have bipolarism, okay, and you have certain medical conditions, it will make you behave like a completely different person. So what I'm saying is we don't know what other issues he has in addition to being bipolar, which would make things worse
It's
or
bad
better.
enough.
Correct.
If you
Exactly.
just have that and he's not
Exactly.
on medicine, and some people don't want to be on medicine, then their environment needs to be controlled. He
Thank
needs
you. That's
structure. He
another
needs to be
thing.
in a facility on no medicine. He needs to be where he has structured environment, and the Philippines is not structured in any freaking manner.
Now, here's the
None.
thing, too. I believe, and again, this is an opinion, but even Heidi will probably agree with me. I believe he already knows that he is bipolar. Again, in my opinion, that his meds ran out. That's why he started losing it. What I'm saying is, point being, is he's aware of his current condition and he didn't take care of
Self-aware,
it.
I'm sure. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
At one point or another, you are. It says here that this is only going to go on for so long until what little money he has, he'll continue. It just he inevitably he will need to go home, and he must have some family members willing to take him in. Not always. We've discussed this. We've discussed that a lot of them have cut all ties with everybody, or nobody's willing to deal with these expats. The same as they would in the United States or Canada, that, a lot of times they cut ties or they're already in a bad situation when they leave and they see the Philippines as an escape and a new life, which is real attractive to a lot of mentally ill people. It's like, hey, new life. I'm going to go recreate myself. I'm going to leave my crazy behind.
All right, just real quick. Again, I'm not, because I hate to say this, it did cross my mind last night. It did cross my mind last night. The reason why it crossed my mind is because, okay, again, this guy obviously does not want real help. I mean, real help, aka actual help of him moving forward with his life. He's happy of him being stuck in some form of limbo. Now,
I love limbo.
the reason why I'm saying this is because actually I told Heidi of this recent scam that I came across that these Bajau people are doing. Again, what they do is they jeepneys again. This is relevant. Okay, trust me. So jeepneys again is basic public transportation of Filipinos, right? So Bajaus, they again, I don't have a problem saying they're because that's what majority of them do. They hop on to these jeepneys, and jeepneys are open vehicles, meaning there's this door, anybody can come in and come out. So what it is, they give you an ampao envelope. It's an envelope where you're supposed to give money in. So they infiltrate a jeepney and then put these ampao, these envelopes, in your lap and expect you to give them money. Okay. Now this is point being, they do this all day, and that's all they do. That's it.
Wonder how much money you can really make.
Thank you.
Even 20 and 50 here and there.
The
would add
reason
up.
why I figured this out is I was going to 7-Eleven that day, and I was walking, la 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 la, and then I see this Bajau girl. She was counting her money. It was like hundreds, 50s, 20s, all bills. Damn, she's got a lot of money, yo.
Should have asked her for some.
And then I started seeing her and her siblings jumping into these cars and jeepneys. And that's what they've been doing. I'm like, son of a bitch. They've been scamming. Okay, now I talked to one of my friends, and he's like, shit, George, you know what? They
Did
probably
you start to say she?
shit. I said,
Oh, okay.
shit, George. Those Bajau probably make more money than I do. That's what my friend said.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's
And
like that in America
and
too.
then it
Makes it bad for the
I
rest.
said, yeah, I believe you, because I saw the girl doing it, and she has a shit ton of money, more than I have in my wallet. Point being is, I'm like, what I'm getting at is,
Which is most days.
begging for money is easier and sometimes more profitable.
Mm.
And what makes you think that a foreigner doesn't stick out and doesn't get that much attention, that much money?
Hypothetically, who do you think would make more money if we went out and did that? And
Yeah,
sat
of
with
course,
signs?
that's common sense. I mean, duh. Nobody's gonna pay attention to me.
Oh, but they're going to give money to an overweight expat female? Probably, because I like somebody's
Probably,
grandmother.
but
Probably.
But point being, well,
Who do you guys think would make more money if we put a bucket and sat out
yeah, no,
on?
of course, probably, yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
but
They might feel
anyway,
sorry for you as a guy.
doubt it,
Tatai. We'll
doubt
put
it.
Tatai on a sign.
But anyway, point being is that's also probably
Lost my balls in a fight to my wife.
possibility
Can you
why
give
he
me
doesn't
money?
want help, because he's probably making him money.
Well, that's what happened here. There's that guy that goes from place to place, and every time somebody offers him a hotel or something else, he wants the money. He said, no, we'll go pay for it. He refuses because he's already got a place. They've seen the same guy go around, and he gets dressed up and he goes out to these bars and stuff.
Yeah.
But he does it during the daytime, and yeah, professional beggars here, and
Yeah.
nobody's stopping them. And if they get stopped by a cop, like I said, it's hard saying if it depends on which cop. It doesn't take a lot to get rid of them.
Yeah, and again, I'm not
buy
trying,
them lunch and then they'll leave you alone.
yeah, I'm not trying to down beggars or anything, but again, there are some beggars in the U.S. that are better off than you guys are. Fact, and I'm not saying all of them, but there are some. Yes.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, they keep holding the word begging, so he spelled it differently. Yeah, just respell. It's probably YouTube holding it. Yeah. Gotcha. That would be why. Is anything being held there? Because if it was us, it would show it.
No,
so then it's YouTube.
No, somebody retracted a statement, but not us.
Okay, so it's not. Yeah, because I'm looking at the stream itself online, but yeah. Hey, Vet's vlog is in the house. Hey, what's going on, Kevin? Love you too. Yeah, you usually see one side vlogging, and I know we don't do the best. Sometimes we go kind of deep on things or off the chain on it, but the one-sided vlogging, the one-sided news that's out there, or it's all about social media. And again, we've heard you guys say, well, you're covering it and you're covering them and you're covering. Yeah, we're just covering it. Like I said, we would do it for free. No, nobody's getting rich, and they're not getting rich either. I get it. Some of the vloggers here, especially the Filipinos, they're just doing it. So a lot of them aren't being paid, but it seems to be the thing to do. But um no, it was kind of a crazy story. We were going through it part of the day yesterday and this morning and discussing it, and even more and more stuff has come out in regards to this. And the other channel, we put the links to the interviews. It appears that, like George said, the same two vloggers were there at the same time, but they've been listed in there. But like I said, they're in Filipino, so you're Cebuano.
Cebuano,
Yeah,
not
well,
not even Tagalog.
right. So it's I'd be curious to see his side on this. And
Like I
um
like I says, the guy's a nut period. Next.
right. Yeah, let me go check some.
Science Beyond says people punch things, have anger issues, possibly sociopathic tendencies.
And it is. Yes, in general, it is illegal for foreigners or Filipinos. It's to give money or for them to be begging. Yes. Either way, there are rules against it, but who's enforcing it?
Yeah, I
Hard.
mean, Robert Goodson says, well, there are many women who like to have that choking thing. No, yeah, again, a lot of women and a lot of guys like that choking thing. I mean, David Carradine likes it, and I mean, I don't know, Gio's in Thailand, he might like it. I don't know.
After seeing them photos of him young, I like to choke that. I mean, what did I say that out loud?
That didn't
I'm busy.
sound right, but okay.
I choked that chicken. Let me see
Mark
that
says it's a
chicken.
bad idea to open a business in a province. Sure is. Just ask Jim. No. Again, no.
Eh,
No. That's what I mean. That's why. Cause see, here's the thing. In Manila, the irony is the surrounding provinces are classified as rural or provincial, and then the only um acceptable city next to Manila or close to Manila is Angel City. Again, I'm not patting Angeles in the back or anything because I live here. No, it's Angel City, and the other one,
uh,
Baguio, it's farther away. So what I'm saying is we're the closest vicinity of the next metropolitan area. So that's what I'm getting at. So yes, if you, especially if you know basic, what I'm saying is, unless she's a local, which she's not, unless she's a local, she could probably say, well, you can go to Bulacan, and then
yeah.
go from there. But what I'm saying, she's not a local, so she probably says, okay, what do I know over there? It's kind of like me going to Mindanao. Like, okay, I would go to in Mindanao. I would like go to Davao City or Surigao City. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not a local. But
Seemed like a ways off all the way
well,
around.
what I'm saying is that's why she said Angels, because that's the most common knowledge thing. That's what I was getting at.
Some of the responses, which are 99.9% Filipinos in here responding to other Filipinos covering this. Um, it's talking about AFAM, which, by the way, we were talking about AFAM the other day. It's
Well,
one's got it
that's
listed as American, blah blah, but they also got it a foreigner in Manila is what AFAM also stands
well, it
for. So they
sounds
refer to them all the way around as AFAM, but then it depends on where you're looking it up these days. But that's what it's supposed to mean. Um, they address Carrie by saying, "Who's more pathetic is the girlfriend who is sacrificed to take care of this German because of his disease, and he, they always refer to she as he has endured the German's pain when the bipolar attacks are happening." So, see, based on them watching the interview and knowing how he really is and his characters coming out, now the Filipinos are more wound up on this. So now who is more pathetic, the German or our countrymen for doing it? So I mean,
Well, the issue I have with that is one, you don't want to abandon your partner just like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I get it. It's not fair to say, oh, you should know better, that kind of deal. But that also is a reflection of that person. Like, oh well, if I were you, I would have bugged out already. I'm like, well, that tells me a lot about you, doesn't it? That means you don't stick up to anything or anybody or your family or your boyfriend or your girlfriend. That means you just bug out. You know what I'm saying? So that's somewhat a little harsh and kind of,
a lot of people are telling him he needs to go back. But did you ever determine how long he's been on the street, give or take? Were they still together in July?
well,
I heard July
I
last
really didn't do the math. I mean,
give
it's
or
it's 10 months since September, so I mean, I honestly don't care about the guy. Like I said, I know his name. I don't say his name because I have that much disdain about him. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, Mr. Dang Jang. I'll call him out. His stuff's already out there. He's already got his own social media
Yeah, and
is
then
his
he's
names.
destroying a Filipina's name because he's trying to control the narrative on his own thing. It's like, dude, you don't have to be lying about a Filipina
And a lot.
because anybody who studied psychology will tell you, well, actually, I don't think she's lying.
Most of the comments that I'm going through are the Filipinos that just can't believe that expats can be broke. That seems to be the biggest. Like, how can an expat be broke? All the time, honey, all the freaking time. It's really amazing how there's 480 comments, and it's like most of them are like, it's kind of like when they translate things, it looks so regal, like how can somebody who has no money as a foreigner be that much broke and their life be so sad? It's like all the time, honey. I would just because we're white or just because we're from Europe or wherever doesn't mean that we're born with the silver spoons.
Well,
It's but I guess they, before the internet, they just would have seen movies, which probably would have made it worse for how
no,
they
again,
thought. Now
they're
they know people can become broke as foreigners. Not everybody's
yeah.
but if they only seen things in movies and this was 1980, they'd be like, "Wow, how can this
Okay,
be?"
okay, okay,
Everybody, it
okay,
was Hollywooded
okay.
back then. Now with the internet, they can see people are broke, but still
No, no, no.
somehow
Again, I'm
most
not.
of these comments are, "How did he go broke? He's
It
an expat." I'm like, okay,
That's irrelevant. The reason being is
that's
this type of behavior is the type of behavior that if you gave this guy $1 million, he'll be broke in 2 years.
yeah. Filipinos have thick faces and look at the money or look for the money. They're just fooling themselves. They also get their karma, which is true statement because who knows why? Because the guy, I know she looks younger than him. There is an age gap. There's a size gap for sure. Because they showed that he's looks to be 4 times bigger than her, but there's an age gap. The guy's not he's not a looker. He didn't have a bunch of money and he's broke already. So, but to her, he might have. But there, I guess there, but she doesn't deserve the abuse. She didn't deserve any of that. He probably put on a real good face in the beginning. Mhm. Because of the countrymen who are being abused, they were the shining of the money. When it's finished like that, that's why other races see all Filipinos who look like the money. I understand what they're saying, but it's the way it's translated. Did you get that one?
No, 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 no. The reason being is like I always say, it doesn't mean you can understand or translate the language. Doesn't mean that it will come out right. That's why I keep That's
Yeah.
why even when I
But you
translate
could
for
still
Heidi,
understand,
I
yeah.
still have to think about it because it's
This one,
not a word for word translation.
yeah. Well, this most of it's coming out. You guys get what they're actually saying. It says here, and amen to this. Most homeless AFAMs or the expats have mental problems. Never ever blame the Filipinos in their situation is like that. The choices are the expats.
Well, here's your flag, as it were, or red
Here's
flag,
your
as it were.
sign.
If an expat is broke, that has nothing to do with the Filipino. Just saying.
Well,
Even
being yeah.
even at the worst case scenario, what I'm saying is we always say that you never arrive here if you don't have a renewable income. And again, if let's say you came here with $10,000, and then let's say your Filipino took it. Okay, that's still on you because guess what? That 10,000 is not going to last you forever, is it?
No, but most I mean there are some legit ones where their Filipinas took their stuff. I mean like they did get scammed like
No,
the
no, no.
one
I'm
that
not
the one that
saying
I keep
again.
seeing recently and it just made it to one of the newspapers and they're spreading it all over the internet is the guy in Thailand that lost a couple 100,000. I don't know where he's from, but in US dollar amounts. He's lost a lot of money that she did nothing but drugs with. Like supposedly she had a drug habit and just drained his bank account. Old guy, really old guy. So basically he was probably bedridden. It looked like he was in bed when they showed the photo. So he's bedridden old dude that got taken for a ride. I don't have the full story, but that's it in a nutshell. And it hit all the newspapers. And I think it was covered by Alex too. But it officially, I seen an entire article where it was on a bigger newspaper and stuff. So where the guy got scammed. But it does happen where the Filipinas have, left them, did the money thing. I think part of it is because there were other things going on, and like I said, there usually is two sides to the story. But I think a lot of them do have mental issues to begin with, and they don't put them in check before they get here.
Yeah,
So
but that
drinking
Thailand thing, was
issues.
that a Thailandese or was that a Filipino?
No, it was a Thai person.
Okay, yeah, careful. Just saying. Just saying. I mean, that's obviously a Thai person.
Okay, excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I did say Thailand
No,
just a few minutes ago, and I was getting through to the story, but I did mention Thailand
no, I
by the
know
end of
that, but
that.
that doesn't mean that that's the country. It doesn't necessarily mean the couple. You know?
Okay. Yeah, and saying it. Go ahead, George, sing it.
No, you're the one who usually sings that song.
Well, go ahead. Not really.
Actually, you do. You always say that song, "Insane in the Main Break."
Yeah, that's what I would do, but I'd probably make more money. I don't know. Your mouth or my dominatrix? Comment, please. Would it be me beating up old guys for money and Japanese guys, or George using his blowhole? Either blowhole. Blow.
I'm not a
Blow.
dolphin.
Oh. Use that hole, whatever hole in your ears and get the job done. And bring me
Oh,
home a
Sterling
dishwasher.
Edwards. Oh, that's where you're from. Lipata Antique.
Yeah,
Hello, everyone. Sterling Edwards. This is where the story comes from. Antique.
yeah.
Yeah. Again, it's a island in Visayas area. That's where the German guy started out from, and with his Filipino partner. But Abu says opening business anywhere can be good or bad, but it depends on what business and where. Well, I mean, obviously, for example, I mean, yeah, I mean, within reason. I mean, like I said, like for example, opening up a piggery in Manila is probably not a good idea for a lot of reasons, aka, the smell, the coating, and all that kind of stuff. And obviously, that's something you need to do in the province. Kind of like it's same thing in the U.S. or in the West, where you don't open up a piggery in your subdivision. that kind of deal. Of course, it's within reason, of course.
Here's another one, another vlogger calling her out saying, you're producing fake news. So there's several Filipinos calling the Filipina out, Carrie. He is a blogger in Antique, and that's been trying to help him. This AFAM does not want any work of any kind, doesn't want any help. And I hope if you want to help him, you get him treated for his sickness. The saints will judge again. The girl has become a meritess because of your captions that she was cheated. TikToker Beth.
Well, that's kind of that's anyway. Point
Right.
being is, again, I would not have said the things she said the way she said it. Again, you have to remember too that she's, again, this guy lies. And again, we've established that with him taking donations
And
unjustly.
showing children, yeah.
Right. So that tells you that
The German guy, for those
his
that are coming
credibility
in,
is shot when
he's
he
asking for money
posted
for
that.
children
Yes.
that are in
So
bad shape,
therefore, don't expect other
which nobody
people.
has mentioned yet.
Yeah,
So not
so-
one comment from the Filipinos or otherwise.
So of course he's gonna lie about, well, she this, she that, she scammed me, blah blah. Well, yeah, I get it. I get it. You're trying to sway the person in front of you to your favor. I get it, but obviously you're a manipulative person, you know. And obviously you can't keep your hands to yourself, Obviously you're the one with issues. That's why you're the one who's still homeless without your Filipino partner. You know what I'm saying? Because, for example, let's say, worst case scenario. Let's say, here's an example. Fact. Let's say me and Heidi. Okay. Let's say she moved into my house in the Philippines. Okay. Just an example. And we had a big fight. And I'll be like, get the fuck out of here. And I kick her out.
Yeah, that'd
So yeah, she'll be homeless for like what, a day?
probably not, because I'd go over to Candy Towers and stay with Mike.
Thank you. No, that's a good point. Point
I'm
being
fine my
is,
way.
if you have your shit together, you have your shit together. You know what I'm saying? I get it that it'll probably take you back a few days or so,
Actually, I just
or maybe worst case
go to
scenario a
Candy
month,
Palace.
because it depends on your situation. You will become self-sustaining, and you will get up on your get up on your knees first, and get up on your legs, and then start living your life like normal. And that's what I'm just getting at. What I'm saying is, this guy is so busy. Oh, she this, they that, they that. You know what? If any of this is true, you wouldn't be in the streets at this point. It's been that long ago. That means you never had your shit together in the first place. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I'm always going to
No,
make
it's different.
way.
Like Heidi says, it's
I'm
different.
not going to sit around and do that, where I'm going to work the system and have the government helping me, and then let the vloggers help me, and
that
then
makes
go
it
try
worse.
to get a job.
He's working the system, and he's still in the street. That's what I'm saying. So it's
Yeah.
kind of, and like Heidi said, this is not a guy who had $200,000 and then his girlfriend took the money away from. No, this is not even the same deal. Point being is, this guy didn't have shit in the first place. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't sustain himself. Anyway, Black Grandpa says common sense and so common. What you,
here's
yeah.
here's somebody else on the other vlogger's account that did the interview. So this is from a different aspect, and this is somebody telling him exactly what I said. This is a pitiful AFAM, but the vloggers are making content to earn money on it, trying to ask help from the vloggers that they don't even have anything to remind you. Yeah, because some of the ones that are covering it, me and George discussed this, they're probably not making very much money to begin with. Now, Carrie seems to have something going on because she's been going around paying. Now, we don't know if she has another job or how she's making her money because she just took that other American that has mental issues. I don't know how it's going to happen. I think another expat is going back to America soon and he's going to assist him because this guy has very bad psychosis and psychological issues. Like he's been in a mental facility here, but he ended up homeless and he's like cut his arms up and he's done some crazy stuff. But somehow she got him repatriated with the loan. She got him, she does some work to get him, back and everything. She's been covering this guy for, I don't know, 6-7 months or longer. But she managed to get a clearance, an MBI clearance, which will take a little bit. I don't know how she's going to get an MBI clearance to get him out of the country that soon either. So she's done all the work. You got to get a clearance. She's got to pay his fine. She's got to make sure his passport stays good for 30 days. They can issue a temporary thing for him to get out, but if he doesn't get his clearance from NBI and a bunch of things or his clearance, it could be an issue. So she's against the clock on that. But and I get that she's helping him and everything. So I kind of lost where I was going on there. But I don't know if she's got 2 or 3 other jobs. Her numbers on her YouTube wouldn't indicate she's making a lot of money. But she does take in donations. She clearly has her PayPal up all the time. She clearly asks for money, and she's even given cell phones to some of the expats. So it's kind of a mixed market. Without her doing that, maybe she couldn't help people. But can you trust people, whether it's the expats doing it or whatever country they're in? It's kind of just a mixed situation going on. But somebody in here had made that statement. I know there are a lot of Maritesses, a lot of people who watch, comment, and I will add you vloggers. But basically, they're just saying that it is what we were saying. It's kind of a battle out there now over the homeless, but it seems to be that it is over the expats that they tend to do this. Poor Rose, and even though she was not cheated, at least father is empanada. He has worked. It's honorable why he deserves to be helped by Sir Tulfo. Yeah, we talked about that. She helped him start a business, and Tulfo gave him more money to open a little bit more of a bigger business. They paid off his fines. They've got him a small place, but the guy's established himself. But honestly, it's still, I'm just going to put it out there, pathetic, sad and pathetic, because he's still living in a small, scroungy place. He's doing his business, but it's not really good business. I bet he doesn't even profit $30 a day or 20. It's enough for him to survive here. He's scratching and surviving like a Filipino, even after being on Tulfo, even after being helped, even after he's got himself established on Facebook and everything. I bet he's still not making a lot of money, but he's scratching and surviving here. I have to find out where he was from. I don't know if he was German. Do you remember where Empanada Tatai was from? Was he from the Netherlands or? Yeah. So, yeah. Let's see.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I have a lot of things to say, but I'm just trying to restrict it because I don't want to go against.
I wish you would. Who you go against? Who? The expat or the Filipinos?
Expats.
Well, George, I mean, if you say it with tact, I mean, or it may just be the truth. This is a discussion. So, I mean,
Well, yeah, no, not. We'll probably cover this topic. It's more about businesses and expats and whatever. So we'll probably cover this in later on some other
good morning,
more relevant
Victoria.
topic. That's what I mean. It's more of a tangent than anything.
It's important for him to get help so he can be properly diagnosed. He's already got a diagnosis. They're saying it's not undiagnosed, but yes, it's important, and it can change over time. He should be getting treatment, constant treatment.
Right. The thing is, I did read that statement earlier, and I was gonna talk about it too. The reason why it crossed my mind is, yes, is he diagnosed with bipolar disorder? Yes, I believe he was diagnosed before he arrived in the Philippines. Now,
See you
what I'm
later.
getting at is, I think there's more to it. Again,
Oh
it's
yes,
just
I'm
an
sure.
opinion.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, because even Sarah said it herself, when she mentioned schizo, that's when it first hit my. That's when I thought about. It. It's like, damn, what if he is schizo?
Yeah, you can have 6, 7
Right,
things
and
wrong. Yeah.
yeah, and then that's when it hit me, like because Sarah again mentioned it, and I was like, yeah, it's possible he is.
Yeah,
And what I'm
that's
saying
what the
is,
borderline personalities is. He can be
he can
there.
be both.
It's exactly
Yes,
what it says. It's
correct.
different personalities. He can be
Yeah,
sweet, this
because
and that, and
her
then
exact words are, he behaves differently from one moment to the next. Now I get bipolar is similar, but personality, what?
intense mood, intense mood swings, unstable relationships. They become disoriented and distorted self-image of themselves. So yeah, if he's feeling bad about himself because of
Yeah,
different things, and if he adds any, they tend to with borderline disorders and bipolar, they're extremely addicted to stuff. So whether it's alcohol, cigarettes, alcohol, a lot of the guys are drinking here and smoking all the time. It says that it's very rapid and dramatic in their shifts of emotions. It happens, and that could be exactly why, you know, where he's attacked or doesn't make it right. So, but very intense anger, fear of abandonment. So if he's jealous and always checking her phone or she's doing things individually with the family, he will feel abandoned and freak
well,
out.
that's
It's
probably
part of
why he
it.
destroyed her phone,
Yes, out of jealousy, rage, and it says right here, fear of
and he
abandonment
did
is
destroy
from
her
the,
phone. So
yeah, and impulsivity and harming and self-harming. So yeah,
yeah,
so
and
it's
that's what she said. She's afraid that he was going to hurt
and we're not
himself.
doctors. That just
That's
came
why
right off
she
the internet.
started hiding the knives. What I'm saying is, yeah, I mean, it goes beyond um your normal diagnosis of um you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. VetBlog says in Vegas they can make over 100 grand a year with saying they're homeless. No, we know for sure. They keep showing these guys at the gas stations that say they're out of gas. They keep getting $10 here and there.
Oh my
I
god.
guarantee if I tried it, I'd probably just get $10 and wouldn't even make it home with the gas I got. So, but
Whenever I see a guy with a gas tank and they ask me for a gas, I said, "Okay, let's gas up your gas can," and they're like, "Nah, it's okay."
well, here what we kept getting hit with, I haven't seen a lot here lately. When it first opened up during the pandemic, a lot of younger kids and guys would show us, remember their inhalers. And the one kid had a tattered piece of paper. You couldn't even see the script anymore. He just showed the top, showed it was a script. And he was asking us to give him the money for an inhaler. And I think he said 400 or 500 pesos or something. And I'm like, yeah, I said, we'll go and buy it. I said, let's go get it. Now, he probably just would have sold it if we would have, but um, yeah, we tend to just feed. So, hard time. There is a law that you can get fined for giving homeless money. Yes, I guess they do. No, the only place where the illegal things become legal here, and taking somebody out to lunch could cure just about anything. But of course, the law's been here. We talked about a lot of these in the beginning of these laws of um, they're everywhere, really heavy, but if it's an adult, I would offer to buy them food and water instead of giving money. Now our theme is unless they're really young, and then we take them and buy them something, or if the parents with them, we buy them something. We've had them refuse,
Well,
so or
even if
elderly
they're
or
kids,
disabled.
you probably should not give them money. You should probably just take them and buy them food.
But we get turned down all the
Because
time for
most of the
trying to
time,
give stuff.
whenever I take kids regularly to parendarias to feed them, and what I'm saying is I feel better. The reason being is because I ask, like, thing I ask is, why are you asking for money? And then the normal response is, because I'm hungry. And I said, if I'm going to buy you food, will you eat it? Yes. And I said, okay, let's go. But I've had kids refuse. They're like, no, I'm okay. So again, that just, if it just, don't feel bad and don't feel like you're a dick for asking. Again, just, you know, it filters out the scammers, so to speak.
Yeah, it actually does.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's very. Yeah, anyone can hit rock bottom, even lottery winners. Yeah.
Oh,
Like I
yeah,
said, it
yeah,
can
yeah.
happen. I always keep in check the shit I say about everybody, including Mark Thornton or anything. I'm about anything that I've said so far from the very beginning of our vlogs and doing these live streams, that it could happen to me. And I try to put myself in people's shoes every time. And, would I? Yeah, I would figure that shit out in about 72 hours when my ass was being eaten by bugs on the street and this and that. I'd be looking to do something and anything. And definitely would be trying to find a way out. But it just seems like some of these guys are not really wanting help. I, you know, I can think of about 3 or 4 things I would do right now if everything fell apart, but I would be trying to get a job. I'm serious. I'd show up at Candy Palace asking Mark for a goddamn job there, and I bet I could get one. My whole point is if you ask and you're about it and you're sincere, that's what would happen. I only need a leg up just a little bit. So in other words, I'm going to work for what I got. It may be hard and I'm sick and everything, but if I got to work for my food and have to work for my housing and stuff to get by until I can get a ticket home or something, that's what I'm going to have to do. Doesn't matter if I'm disabled or on disability or whatever. But these guys are starting to become like they would, happen in the US. And, this country's already falling apart to begin with, as far as, the homeless and the poor. And so, yeah. No, most of them do. There's a curse or something. So, hang on there, George. What about all those guys who give money to the girls and then the families all have their hands out? Nope, that's true. We've discussed all that, no doubt. I think that's a given that most Filipinas with their families are responsible in one form or another. There's a lot of closeness here. So if you take on a Filipina, you got to understand, unless her family has money like George's family, I don't have to worry about that. So it's it'd be like in America if you marry into a poor family. Let's say you married a girl that was just flat out broke and you were paying for everything, you're in love with her, and a lot of them are going through hard times. There's a good chance in America that family's going to eventually ask you for money or to borrow your car or to move in or something else. It's kind of, especially in a small town in America, for sure. Hey, what's going on? Guys, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. That is for sure. And do a thumbs up on that video. Shout out what is going on. Black Grandpa is
Hey,
in
Black
the
Grandpa.
house.
How you doing?
How can a foreigner go broke? Oh, they definitely do. There are some that spend 100,000 US in a month. They drink, they party,
Oh, he's
the
answering it.
Philippines. What?
He's answering.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. If they have 100,000, yeah, they spend 100,000 one. Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised how expensive things get here really quick. It is you go into the malls, you go to the movies, you go to Makati. We were just discussing doing something next Valentine's Day. That hotel that has that restaurant. And if we get one room in that hotel and go to this restaurant, it's like a 6-course meal. We're out $600, and that's without taking a private car there. And so, because I'm not getting on a bus to go there, so that's on me. But that'd be the least of my worries at $600 for dinner in a hotel. I mean, what, I can't splurge $80 for a private car. But it doesn't take long to spend money here. That's the
Oh, it doesn't take long to spend money, period.
right.
Spending money is easy. Making it is another.
Yeah, it's yeah, that would be that's the biggest problem is remaking. Yeah, it's them. They got a delivery.
Huh? Somebody's here.
I'm checking now. It just said if they can make a delivery, they kind of know we were working, but they're asking if they can. I think they might be here. I'm checking. Sorry, guys. Yes, they're there. 1 second, guys. It should be paid for. Yeah, and that's another thing. Filipinos are very persistent. We had 2 instances already, like this couple, like the other drivers, know that between a certain time we can't take packages, but here they are. They're claiming they're done, so they were just going to sit out here and wait for us. Yeah, but we've asked them not to come until after 12 o'clock on specific days, and they're very persistent Filipinos. And I was going to tell them about our incident of our trash guy again. He was not going to take no. The guy came back 3 or 4 times, and that's a whole nother issue on payment and stuff with our trash guy. So he's wanting to get his payment 2 weeks in advance, which is not a good idea. Most of them in this neighborhood pay per pickup. And he sat out there and we were busy doing stuff. And then he left. And then he came back 2 other times leaning up against the car. And it was just very persistent, very, very persistent. But we've said that and here they are. So anyways, that or stubborn. I don't know which. Persistent or stubborn or a mix of both. Oh, you would think with all these news about scammers, foreigners who come to the Philippines would be so much aware, probably on either side, the Filipinas and that, but somehow it's like gobsmacked or something. So, yeah. Yeah. It's important to vet your Filipino for a long time before giving them money or trusting them with your money or living. Like some of these guys will get right off an airplane, and these Filipinos don't know nothing about these guys either. They just move in with them, and this guy was evidently a psycho from day one. You know what I mean? I can hear the music and everything, but these Filipinos get themselves into a ball of mess too. Pretty much.
Well, I agree.
Yeah, it's kind of, especially if they're younger, nobody who ever got scammed thinks it could happen to them. Yeah, that would be my, I think they go through these honeymoon phases and they've been talking online and they feel they know them and can trust them, and then they get hit
You
and
don't know
stuff.
anybody unless you live with them.
You know what? After watching these crime shows and all these different things lately I've been talking about, a lot of people don't know these people. Some of them are 12 years into their marriage and 3 kids when stuff
That's why I
happens.
said you don't know these people until you live with them, and even then.
Yeah, anything could happen, even because people change over time.
But point being is, your online love life is not real until it becomes real.
Hey, Sky Tech, what is going on? That would make a good show, talking about all the vloggers in the Philippines who have been scammed. Yeah, I told you there is an interest. George doesn't seem to think so, but I think a lot of you guys are interested in vloggers that are within the community of that you watch, just not vloggers in general. But when it all comes down to scamming and covering each other, and like this incident, it was an all-in-one.
No. That's not what I said. I said they're not interested in vloggers they don't know.
Well, I just said that. I said that and the ones they don't know. Yeah, I get that.
No, I mean, nobody cares about some people that they've never heard of. Pretty much.
I think the reason, and being you're going that far, I think there's an interest that all these guys, these Filipino guys, are covering the homeless expats, and now they're all getting involved. The other vloggers that aren't even vloggers based on that are all getting in on those guys' coverage. So in other words, they're all jumping on board on these stories.
Yeah, but they're irrelevant vloggers, or
well, they appear
and I even
to be.
Put air quotes on that because if you look at their numbers, they're not even real.
I couldn't believe the guy had a couple 100,000, but 27 views. So
right, if you have 200,000 subscribers and you have,
he's relevant in his own world.
If you have less than 50 views, then obviously you're fake. That's what I'm saying. Vloggers.
Thank you. Yeah, actually what happens, they like the mic covers. I have to get more. I have to, because when they sit inside of the case or whatever that we have, they start to discolor, and I guess the colors that they're dyed with gets rubbed off, and the cats get a hold of them and chew on them. So now we're due for another set, but I tried to look for other types. Right now there's a different Timu and Lazada and all that. They only seem to sell these, but I like to switch up the covers. We've been doing that for a while. It would be educational and relevant to everyone, a teaching moment to some. Yeah, that's what that's what I've been saying, is that anything we've covered, we might do it with a slight gossip or a few jokes or whatever, but you tell me what vlog we did where it had no relevance. That's the word. Most of the stuff we cover has been relevant. Yeah, the English guy who got taken, there has to be many more. Yeah, there is. There's a lot more. Like, there was a couple other homeless people that came up. We just, until all of it came into this realm of several things happening and everybody interviewing her and him. Yeah. No, he should be. And even then, he needs the right environment. I'm sorry, medication won't be enough. You can't live in the Philippines with that kind of issue. You really can't.
Well, you
He
can
needs a
live
stable.
anywhere.
Yeah,
Period.
well, that is true. It doesn't matter, but he needs a stable environment with the same, you know, that's what, like I said, happened to those other two vloggers. The one got severe depression, couldn't even get out of bed, she said. And you can't live here if you're not getting any help. And then the same with that younger girl, her anxiety got bad. Yeah, if you get out on the street and you see the traffic, you could be shooken up for 3 days and you have no anxiety. So imagine somebody that has issues with all that stuff going on. That's for sure.
Well, now, actually, Black Grandpa made a good point. There's the problem you face here in the Philippines is most of these expats are addicted to this certain particular type of drug, and as Black Grandpa says, um, there and this is why they behave this way. Is there's no drug more addictive when you're new to it and not used to getting it than peck peck. Now, for those of you who don't know what peck peck is another translation for pussy.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I get that. And a lot of these guys, I hate to say it, are thirsty when they get here. MYK covered that on many occasions about how thirsty they are. And I get it. Shit's bad in the West dating, and the new generation. I couldn't imagine dating now. I mean, me and George have been together almost 7 years now. I couldn't imagine it's even changed in the last 3 years. Post pandemic, it's just a different situation. So you come here, and the Filipinos are extra sweet, and they're doing you and doing your laundry and everything that you're not used to. And yeah, it's kind of just addicting and
Yeah,
being in a new relationship is a different type of
yeah.
high.
Now, this is
So
a very valid question. But I do have answers for both sides. Luca says, I wonder if the Filipino partner has checked his medications or the guy ever told her about his condition. I don't think he did mention his condition to her because he had to take her to a hospital to figure it out. Now, as far as medications are concerned, you have to remember that at his age, that most Filipinos know if you're an older person, regardless of nationality, you take maintenance drugs. If that makes
have you seen any freezing?
no,
Okay.
no. They already said it's him.
Okay.
All right. So again, most Filipinos, even Filipinos themselves, if you're a particular age, once you hit 40, maintenance drugs become normal. So what I'm getting at is, again, she's the type of person that it's not her business, and she's not gonna make her business of if he's taking his medications as far as maintenance drugs are concerned. Because even at the bipolar disorder, that's still classified as a maintenance drug if you take a pill to control yourself. So what I'm saying is, she's not that type of person. She even says, "What's his is his. I don't mess with this stuff. I don't deal with it." Now, I'd be more concerned if your partner puts their nose into your drugs. If that makes any sense. Now, like I do, like when with Heidi, I ask her, like, what's this for? What's this for? What's this for? Well, I do it because I'm one. There I have two reasons why I ask. One is because I'm curious. I just ask about everything. Two, most of the time I'm the one doing drug, pharmacy runs. So I want to know, what drugs goes. That way, whenever Heidi says, "Oh, go get this," I don't have to ask her, "What's this for?" You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Hi,
So
Pixie.
what I'm saying is, I'd be more concerned if your Filipino partner is more curious about the
Pixie,
medications that you keep
slow
around
down on the
you
water. We don't own the cat litter
than
company.
somebody who just like, okay, because that's a again, if a Filipino goes starts asking too many questions about what you take, then again analyze what is it, like, again, like, I ask because again I'm the one that gets it for her,
Yeah.
that kind of deal.
Yeah, Lucca was asking, may I ask why you need to pay a garbage collector? Well, then you must be in a nice subdivision where it's all inclusive or they don't charge, but
Well,
most of
it
them,
varies per area.
yeah. So,
It's
yeah,
kind
but
of
it's
like,
saying
okay,
but it shouldn't it be the LGU's responsibility?
yes, that's what I was getting at. Technically, we shouldn't pay a garbage collector, except that the garbage truck shows up whenever they feel like it. Remember, it used to come here
Yeah.
once a month. Now it never comes.
Well, we haven't seen it.
No,
We've been
no. I
here. This will be our
mean,
fourth
that's
Christmas
what I'm
in
saying.
this
So
location.
technically, she's correct. But
Yeah, no
that's
trucks go
right.
around, and then it's not on them. So in our last subdivision, we paid for an individual, and then the
Well, see,
same.
that's another thing. In your last subdivision, they never came by ever.
Yeah, no, not the truck. So
Right. So that's what
you
I'm
have
saying.
individual guys that come and pick the trash up. It's I can't even begin to tell you, but yeah, it's
Yeah. Now, if you live in a
we're watching the new guy. He's done really good. What? How long have we had the new guy? 6 months? Longer? A year?
yeah, wait, wow, yeah,
Okay. Well,
over a year,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, this is the second time he's asked for advance payment. So, like George said, it's normal and not normal at the same time. We're just kind of watching him, but he was pretty persistent. That's what I was telling people, how persistent that you can tell.
Well, it all varies. Again, it's
Yeah,
like,
but for me, people have a lot of balls here. It's balls I haven't seen in any of, not even in Egypt, not in Latin
I
America.
disagree because
Yeah, but
I've experienced worse in the U.S. I mean,
there are some ballsy things that they do here.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing, but
Yeah,
I've seen worse stuff in the U.S. as far as money lending, money borrowing, that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, don't get me started with other stuff. But
Well,
anyway,
that's the money stuff. I'm talking about like these delivery people know that we're working. They've been told that they end their day early, and so they come anyways. And this is like 12 times they've been told this, so they came anyways.
well,
And they can just bring it the
it
next
all
day,
depends on
and they
how
know
you
you're
train
working.
them. If I were, again, if it were up to me, I've even told I did this, I would just ignore it. Because reality
Look who you're going in there.
is again, if a Filipino was working, is out and about working, what are they gonna do? Keep hounding the guy to come
Actually, they
home?
do. That's what our guy did. He sat out there for a half hour hounding, which is something like the kids do.
Okay,
When we were
I
kids, we
get
would have
it,
never
but then
done that.
again, that's the thing. You have to train them.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Yeah, and then
anyways,
if they can't be trained, you can call their headquarters. It's right there in Mexico.
that's why
I'll be like, you know
people are
what?
burning
I'm
their
working
trash.
at home. I told your delivery guy, I'm working. He can't keep calling me up while I'm working.
Yeah. So
What,
he's talking about people burning their trash. So yeah, no, that's probably why, and they do that here. Or I hate to say it, they toss it across the yard, and then every few months they burn the whole lot down over across the street. So that's
Well,
what they
when
do.
you have to remember too that I mean, even in the U.S. Again, I'm talking U.S. I don't know any other country. In certain states, in certain areas in the U.S., they do allow that
Oh
to
yeah.
happen.
See,
So
that's what Bookham is saying. Yeah. We are the farmland LGO truck. It comes every Monday morning. Yeah, and ours only came once in this area. So, and the other one it didn't come at all. So, and it's supposed to be, it's still the same city. So, but
yeah, no, it varies per location. Like I said, in the other location, which is again is literally 2 kilometers away, the truck never even made it there.
yeah.
So
All right, guys, we are wrapping this up. Yes, of course, we have multi cameras. We had for years. We have 2 CCTVs.
yeah, say your goodbye, guys.
Yeah, so of
Um,
course we do.
so today, number one is Bukandano, MP9. Number two is Robert Goodsman.
These are our top commenters. You know, you just these are the top commenters,
Number
guys.
three is Tony Manning's number three. Then we have, of course, we have Lucca, and
Hey,
we have
Billy Pyro.
Sarah Tyson. All right.
This happens, Victoria. She says, "What if they're pretending to be garbage collectors?" We had this one incident, and I do get concerned when George is out and about or he's at his uncle's and it's me dealing because I'm usually the one out feeding the pets or whatever. So I'm the one out where people can see me and stuff. But we had that incident, which has been about a year. I don't even think it's been a year, but it's the one where the guy asked for 300 pesos. He wrapped up a bunch of my stuff and we were in between the garbage collectors.
that one. Yeah.
And this has happened multiple times, but I refused to pay the people. But this time I could not tell, being the guy, it'd only been a few months and he was skinny like the other guy. He did have a hat on, like literally he had 2 hats on. I couldn't tell if it was him. I'm sorry, I'm not good with names or faces anymore. It doesn't matter. And I asked him, "Are you my garbage man?" I said, "Because I don't think you are." And he says,
Wow.
"Yes." And he had already tied it up. So I'm like, okay. Then I told George, I said, "Listen," I said, "what's up?" And I said, "Should I pay him or not?" Well, we needed the trash taken away. Our other guy disappeared. And I'm like, might as well. But he said that he was the regular guy. And I paid him, and then he didn't carry it off. By the time I got back in the house, he took the money, left the trash in the bags, and walked away. He left the trash still there. So I was like, what the hell? So we totally got ripped off that day. I'm like, so he was only being paid 300 pesos, which is a month's worth of trash by far with a tip. And he's being paid for just cleaning up trash out of a trash can because we have the oversized trash cans outside. And I'm like, that didn't make any sense. It was already in the trash can with bags already. So, but he never did take them with him. So it was just a whole, all the way around scam. So, thanks, Raymond. We will see you guys later. And he says, and they won't take trash bags here. Everything needs to be in a rice sack. Well, our guys tend to, like when the guys come by and the plastic collectors and everything, they for a long time were stealing our bags. So we start going out and yelling at them. We're like, hey, stop doing it. They were stealing the bags around the trash and dumping it in the bottom of the can and taking the bags every time and leaving trash outside. But these are things that I've learned I have no control over, honestly. So, all right, guys, we will see you on the next live stream. I might do Saturday. Saturday's been an open thing. And then, of course, Tuesdays and Thursdays in the Philippines, guys. And we appreciate everybody. Say goodbye. It's lunchtime and market time. Market time.
Bye, guys.
Stock market time. All right, guys.